Apple broke the internet with the release of the iPhone before Marques Brownlee and the whole tech review world on YouTube even know how to hit upload. But their most recent groundbreaking product was the AirPods, about 6 years ago. And since then, it's been a bit of a controversial journey. In one of our earliest videos on this YouTube channel, we dug into some of Apple's more controversial decisions, one that fittingly coincides with the AirPods story that we're telling today. See, in 2016, Apple decided to stop including the headphone jack in their iPhones. The iPhone 7 effectively made everyone's wired headphones obsolete, forcing consumers to adopt the newly announced AirPods. Now, naturally, these AirPods had haters before they were even released to the public, with many valid and not so valid concerns. At the top of this list, these things were freaking expensive. Those first AirPods sold at $159 a pair, often 5 times the amount as their previous wired earbuds, and yet they had a pretty average sound quality.
I mean, it's all right.
For anyone who was even remotely financially savvy, it was a little concerning to invest that much money into something that was so small and easy to misplace. It really just felt like a money grab. Apple created a problem and then provided an expensive solution that would keep people coming back. Morally, you could say that this was a very sketchy move, but from a business perspective, it was absolutely genius. But the memers supremes weren't having it, and in no time, AirPods became what is probably Apple's most memed product ever, with the internet poking fun at everything from its looks to price to just how losable they were. But for any of you haters out there, no matter what you hate and why, here's a little lesson. This torrent of hate this product received ironically gave the new product a huge amount of attention, and by December 2016, AirPods were outselling every other wireless headphone around, claiming 26% of a well-established market.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Today, Apple continues to dominate the US as the top-selling headphone supplier by a huge margin, which is insane, considering that they're up against companies like Bose, who literally specialize in sound. But the funny thing is, Apple wasn't actually the first to come out with truly wireless earbuds. That would be some Japanese company that nobody's ever heard of, who launched the first ever pair just a year before AirPods. But Apple did what they always do. They figured out how to circumnavigate all those downsides to convince the world that they really needed these things. Now, I have to admit that I am also one of those people. I own AirPods, and I own them for probably a lot of the same reasons that other people also own AirPods. If you are like me and you're all in on the Apple ecosystem, then the AirPods are a no-brainer. They seamlessly connect with all of your other Apple products, of course. They work with that promised level of Apple functionality that appeals to the general public who just want their stuff to work without thinking about it. And on top of this, they're sleek. And more importantly, they project a certain image. When you think about the typical Apple consumer, they're holding the fruit in their right or left hand and they're slowly taking bites of it. No, sorry, that's an Apple-like eater consumer.
Oh, it's so funny, I forgot to laugh.
The typical Apple customer is not too worried about price.
Money is no object.
In fact, that might be a bit of a selling point. There is an undeniable association between Apple and wealth. Apple is notoriously known for creating very minor upgrades to their products year over year, but always with a noticeable physical change to differentiate models from each other in order to elevate the new from the old. And AirPods are pretty much the ultimate Apple flex, because unlike a phone, which spends most of its time in your pocket, if you are wearing AirPods, pretty much everybody can see them. This bright white design was very deliberate in this. And early reviewers complained that they kind of looked dorky, but that was exactly the point. Apple wants to be recognizable and create a visible community of users, people who are proud to identify with the company. And if they can show off their wealth in the process, it's even better. But for all of their amazing genius technology and design, there's a number of ways that these things fall short. If you don't accidentally put them through the laundry with your jeans, or lose them in the couch cushions, or drop them off a chairlift, they might just die on their own. The biggest problem with AirPods is is the thing that they're most known for, their size. We like things that are light and sleek and unobtrusive, but you can't just shrink something indefinitely without sacrificing on some other factors. Anything with a lithium-ion battery is going to eventually wear out with use. But whether by design or just because of the realities of working with such tiny tech, AirPods are notoriously horrible on this front. One common estimate is that you can expect a pair of AirPods to last a measly 18 months. And the glued together non-modular design and the lack of replacement parts makes them effectively impossible to repair in any kind of way. As CNBC put it, the way AirPods are built suggests the product was always designed to last a limited time. Oh, the planned obsolescence of Apple products. God, it's frickin' so real. And everything I own is made by them.
I am never gonna financially recover from this.
But here's the thing. It really seems like Apple isn't able to do much on this front. They talk about replacing batteries on their website, and maybe they actually do it for their AirPod Max, but that's an entirely different animal. But for their classic wireless earbuds, battery service really seems code for they're just gonna chuck the old ones and give you a new pair. And if your measly 1-year limited warranty is up and you don't have Apple Care Plus, you can expect to pay $49 per bud for this service. And then of course you would have to wait for delivery and send yours back or something, and for a company that is literally based on making your life as convenient as possible, it doesn't really seem like that's a go. Now this is annoying for the consumer, for sure, and costly, but on an environmental and ethical level, it's even more depressing. There was a time when headphones were among the most universal and long-lasting electronics, and this makes sense when you think about it. We've been using audio jacks and headphone technology literally since the 1800s. They're not that complex compared to, say, a modern iPhone or a smart TV. They have a singular purpose, no moving parts, and they're not made obsolete every few years by a firmware update or some sort of changing consumer expectation. But today, everything needs to be Bluetooth enabled, OLED illuminated, and accessible via voice command. No wonder these things don't last at all. But this nice convenient size has another downside. Because they're so small, there's not really much to recycle on them, which means that they mostly end up in landfills. And that's not even counting all the resources and energy and labor that went into building the device in the first place. Every single AirPod has a story, one that probably involves workers from around the world getting paid dirt wages as they mine, refine, and assemble these things in often dangerous conditions, only for us to throw them out just a couple of years later, which is just made so much worse considering how much effort Apple puts into making themselves look green and socially responsible. Apple is known for their cutting edge technology, and people have been complaining about reliability for years, and yet we still get disposable products from them. Only these days, we pay $250 for them instead of $150. If that's not a dastardly money grab, I don't know what is. Our writer wrote dastardly in there, and I kept it because I don't know a human who uses the word dastardly, and I wanted to embarrass her. So there you go, Holly, you got your moment. So here is your weekly future-proof reminder that you can only trust big corporations to do one thing, and that is to protect their shareholders' wallets. The only reason that Apple addresses consumer concerns, at least to some degree, is to avoid a lawsuit. After the Washington Post's scathing criticism of Apple's battery service in 2019, they have made it a little easier to get a discounted replacement for your dead AirPods, which is a tiny step forward from making customers spend full price every single time. And this social pressure has worked in other circumstances. For example, this may come as a total shock to many, including me, but apparently the most recently introduced iPhone 14 was deliberately designed to be a bit more repairable. Of course, this was done after a lot of public backlash, but interestingly, it also benefits Apple directly, as we talked about in our last Apple video, because As you'll learn when you watch that one, Apple makes a lot of money by reselling your old iPhone. But unfortunately, that circular system does not apply at all to the new AirPods Pro 2, because they're not built to be repaired or to last longer than 18 months or to not get lost in the seat of your car or gym bag or wherever the hell it happens to disappear to. So yes, it's a terrible nightmare situation. The best product is the worst product at the same time. So what do you do? Well, here's the part of the video where we share our probably biased perspective. There are other options to buying a new set of AirPods. After much trial and error, at least one company has figured out how to use robotics and manual labor to refurbish old AirPods. The Swap Club will take your old AirPods or iPhones, clean them up and repair them, and then send you another pair of renewed pods, all for a lower price than Apple's battery service. I have personally used this service back in the day when it was called Pod Swap, and it worked pretty well, but only if you're based in the US. If you are looking for a new pair of headphones, I personally would avoid wireless if at all possible, because they will just be dead faster than anything else. Instead, keep an eye out for products that are modular by design so that you can replace things when they inevitably wear out. We're super stoked on the company called AI. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. It's a terrible name, but they're doing really cool stuff. Their modular design means that you can replace everything on them super easily, and they're really good quality. These headphones are actually designed for DJs and audio technicians, so you know that the audio quality is going to be great, and they make their stuff out of recycled plastic. So hopefully that was interesting, or at least helpful for you. If you liked the video, make sure you like it, subscribe for more content. We'll see you in the next one.